This video will guide you through the process of replacing a catalytic converter with a new OE Catalytic Converter on a 2013 Nissan Altima. The catalytic converter is attached directly to the exhaust manifold and muffler, 4th, 3rd to 5th generation from 2002 to 2018 models, regardless of engine type. The vehicle's hood must be opened for removal and replacement. If the engine has been running, let it cool sufficiently before starting work to avoid burns from hot parts. And always wear personal protective equipment, including rubber gloves and safety goggles, when working on a vehicle. Be sure the vehicle is on a level surface, with the engine off and the parking brake engaged. Use a jack to lift the vehicle off the ground and support the vehicle using a jack stand. Disconnect the negative battery cable. Then, detach the exhaust front tube. Remove the engine undercover to gain access to components. Remove the clamp of the front air duct and unscrew the bolts, securing the air cleaner case assembly in place. Disconnect the air-fuel ratio, sensor electrical connector, and unhook the harness from the bracket and middle clamp on the cover. Remove the upper manifold cover. Then, use an oxygen sensor socket and ratchet wrench to unscrew the air-fuel ratio sensor. If the sensor is stuck due to heat and corrosion, apply penetrating oil to the sensor threads to aid in removal. Remove the oil gauge and oil level cover. Remove the lower front exhaust manifold cover. Loosen the nuts on the exhaust manifold and three-way catalyst assembly. Remove the exhaust manifold and three-way catalyst assembly and discard the gasket. Finally, remove the lower rear exhaust manifold cover to complete the removal process. Next, perform a thorough visual inspection of the catalytic converter. Check the surface of the catalytic converter for cracks, dents, chipping, scratches, or other physical damage. Use a straight edge and feeler gauge to check the flatness of the exhaust manifold fitting surface. The manufacturer's specifications limit for flatness is 0.3 mm, 0.012 in. This check will help identify any warping or irregularities that may cause leaks or improper sealing. Finish by installing the catalytic converter. Begin by installing the lower rear exhaust manifold cover. Next, use a thread chaser or tap to clean any debris from the threads in the cylinder head and exhaust manifold. Apply a small amount of grease or anti-seize compound to the threads of the new studs. Carefully thread the studs into the cylinder head and exhaust manifold by hand. Make sure the studs are not cross-threaded. Insert the gaskets provided with the new catalytic converter. Next, carefully position the catalytic converter. Make sure it points in the correct direction and that the proper side faces down. Use the arrow indicator as a guide for proper installation. Hand tighten the bolts, then use a wrench or ratchet with a socket set to tighten securely. Make sure the bolts are tightened securely to prevent exhaust leaks. Next, reattach the exhaust system and rear-ted components in the following order. Install the lower front exhaust manifold cover first, then attach the oil level gauge and oil level gauge guide. Use a wire brush, rag, or cloth to clean the threads on air-fuel ratio sensor 1 prior to installation. Afterward, apply anti-seize lubricant to the threads to prevent the sensor from becoming stuck due to rust or corrosion. Insert the sensor into the new catalytic converter and tighten it into the frame. Next, attach the upper exhaust manifold cover to its designated position. Reconnect the electrical connector to the air-fuel ratio sensor. Install the front air duct and air cleaner case assembly. Then secure the engine undercover. Next, attach the exhaust front tube. Finally, reconnect the negative battery cable to complete the installation process. This concludes the procedure for replacing a catalytic converter on a 2013 Nissan Altima. Thank you for watching.